In this video, I'm going to be telling you if the new Saucony Tempus is the best stability shoe you can buy. What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Stability Shoe HQ here in Hertfordshire. Now, have you seen part one of this video? Hopefully you have, and you saw all the stats and features and all the information I gave you about this brand new sort of mild stability shoe from Saucony. Now, this is an exciting shoe because it's got the Power Run PB midsole. This is the first sort of lightweight up-tempo daily stability shoe that we've had recently. It's got a little bit of zest about it. Now, what I said in that first video was that I'm going to take the shoe along to a half marathon, which we did on Sunday, and find out what it's actually like over the half marathon distance, because I think us sort of everyday runners that need a stability shoe want a shoe that can do the half marathon distance and do it relatively well. So we took this along to Southend, and this is how we got on. Okay, right, so Southend Half Marathon for me was first sort of proper race back, not even proper race back, but distance after the Edinburgh Marathon. We went there with the goal of under 2 hours, no stress, mucking about, enjoying it, having fun, which I think you should do at every race. But we weren't looking for a time, so I'll just put that straight out there. It was a hot day, and it was sensible not to push, in particular also because marathon training has now started for London, and I don't need to be pushing. So it was more about getting the distance done, enjoying it, having fun, which I think, to say, is what it's all about, really. But we put I would say, the Saucony Tempus through the sort of half marathon distance. Yes, it wasn't flat out speed, but there was elements of speed in there. The reason that is because I was stopping, filming, sort of catching the guys up and all that sort of stuff. But I think more importantly, it was a good fact-finding mission to see what it was like over the half marathon distance, because the half marathon distance is perfect for this shoe, and I'll come on to why in a minute, because you get a feeling of pretty much everything that's going to come your way in that distance. Okay, so for those who didn't see part one, please check it out. But basically, this shoe's going to be about 130 to 150 quid when it comes out at the end of June. 8mm drop. Like I said, you've got Power Run PB midsole. You've got Power Run EVA foam creating a frame, EVA foam creating a frame around the shoe. So it's got no medial posting. They built the sort of wall up here on the inside, on the medial side, to create effectively like guide rails, I would say, so to promote that sort of lateral movement. We've got we've got Power Run PB running through the centre of the shoe as well. We've got a sort of deep-seated feeling from the shoe. You sit quite low in it, and again, it gives you that sort of guide rail feeling of the shoe. You then got a relatively breathable upper. It was warm, and the upper did okay. A nice bit of foam around the heel, not overkill in terms of the foam, but just right. Gusseted tongue. Weight, and that's the key to this shoe, by the way. It is just under 10 ounces, which is great news in my UK 9.5. Fits true to size. There is no plate in this shoe. The outsole is not very good. I'll just put that out there. It was fine on the tarmac, but I mentioned it in the first video. If it's sort of a greasy tarmac, maybe it's just rained, or it rained a couple of hours ago, and there's that little bit of moisture on top of the tarmac. It's not very good, and all Saucony shoes are not very good, I believe. And that sort of conditions, speed, pros, all the same. So the outsole is marginal, I say, but that's the only thing really that kind of lets the shoe down. The other thing you need to be aware of before I get into finally what it was like is that if you suffer with like flat feet, if a high arch is going to bother you, then I would not necessarily recommend this shoe, because the arch is quite prominent on the shoe. Okay, right, that's it. That's the stats and features. You're bang up to speed now. Let's crack on with what it was like over the half marathon. Right, okay, so the shoe was brilliant. It did exactly what I wanted it to do. It was steady. I was cruising. I got great feedback from the shoe. I was tired at the end of the run, the heat, and the fact that doing a half marathon, 2 weeks after doing a marathon, my legs were tired. Felt great. I noticed the arch when I was tired, because I must have collapsed back more onto the heel strike, so the arch was noticeable, but until the end of the race I didn't really notice it. The shoe definitely lacks the speed roll technology. I would say you do get a nice roll through the shoe, but it's not as prominent as you do in the Endorphin line. I think they need to introduce that in the shoe. I also stick by my guns in what I said in the first video, is that I think the next incarnation of the shoe definitely needs some form of plate, whether it's a TPU insert, a TPU full length, not necessarily a carbon plate, but some form of plate in it, just to give you that little bit of snap. Because that's the only sort of criticism I can give the shoe, is there sort of lack of snap from it. The Power Run PB is great fun. It definitely still reminds me of the Fuel Cell Prism, the original, with the that Fuel Cell midsole that is lively. It's definitely good for the stability side of things, but it does lack that sort of snap that I was hoping I would be getting from this shoe. Now, don't be put off by that, because I think still, if you're looking for a sort of a race day shoe, you can definitely wear this 100%. But if you're looking for ultimate speed, then I still think the Pro 2 from Saucony Endorphin is probably the way to go. That said, this shoe was so comfortable and performed exactly how I wanted it to over that 13.1 miles. There was nothing here that I can say to you, just avoid it. Yes, it's not as, I don't know, snap, crackle and pop as maybe I was hoping from the shoe, but the Power Run PB still gives you that epic feeling of bounce and responsiveness. And I think for a stability shoe wearer, you've been lacking that because you've been stuck in those really boring shoes that are out there. So this is going to be a really nice change up for you. If you go down this road. So just watch out if you've got flat feet because of the arch. But this really is a great fun shoe, competent shoe, that will give you good feedback, but it's not going to tear you up in terms of moving all over the place like if you had the Endorphin speed. So yeah, I'm going to come back. We're going to do a further performance review down the line, probably when we get to like 75, 100 miles, whatever it is, and then I'll come back to you on then. But I do think if you've been waiting for this shoe, this is definitely an opportunity here to get something that, in terms of a stability shoe, that is more lively, more up-tempo, and will give you more feedback than those boring, traditional, ugly shoes that are out there that are overpriced. So well done, Saucony. I think you've started something here. And I just hope that where we go next with this shoe is where I hope it is, as I say, that they can continue to make it lighter and they put some form of plate in there to really give us some snap. But yeah, I would recommend this to you if you are a stability shoe wearer, and you're looking for something that's up-tempo, that will make you feel awesome on your day-to-day work. You can wear this up to half marathon distance. It was absolutely fine over the half marathon distance. It's definitely more exciting to wear than the Kayano 28. And I think, for a first stab, they really have hit the mark with the Tempus.